Welcome to In Touch. If you're looking for a wonderful holiday tradition for you and your family this season, how about Christmas at the Belvidere? This historic mansion was built in 1902 and is being renovated by the Rogers County Historical Society in Claremore. So sit back and enjoy today's show, Christmas at the Belvidere.
In Touch with Gene Heck, a public affairs presentation of TV 35, keeping you in touch with the issues and personalities of Claremore and Rogers County. And now, here's Gene Heck.
We can see that they've really done a lot of work on the Belvidere Mansion to get it ready for this special show. And my first guest is Sylvia Wilson, the chairperson for Christmas at the Belvidere.
Jean.
Thanks for joining us today, Sylvia.
Thank you for having us.
What went into getting the mansion ready for such a big event?
When we first started doing the mansion, there was a lot of plumbing and heating that needed to be taken care of and addressed before we could even begin to start opening it to the public for a show. The first rooms that we were concerned about was the downstairs, because we knew that we had to have some form of heat in here. So we came in with a lot of our local business people, and they volunteered their services, and we rewired, we plumbed it, and we also put in central heat.
Mm-hmm. It looks like, too, that you had to do a lot of cleaning, refurbishing.
Yes, we did. We painted this room. You're in the center rotunda room that does have an alcove that goes through the center of the mansion. We did have to come in here and repaint. We have repainted every room in the downstairs and the second floor.
Okay. Also, too, this was all the original tile work, as we see.
Yes, it is. It's the original tile, and the tile on the fireplace is original. The starburst in the center of the floor is original. All of our fretwork that happens to be around the mansion, and all of the woodworking is all original.
Mm-hmm. So it's been a big community project restoring this mansion.
Yes, it has.
Okay. And this is the second annual Christmas at the Belvidere show. Tell us a little bit about what types of crafters and people. We see all these great holiday decorations. Where did they come from?
Well, we have between 75 and 100 crafters who have volunteered their crafts and brought them in for us. We have the Antique Association in Claremore who have provided all of our antiques, and they have provided the antiques. They are all period antiques.
Mm-hmm. Have you had a lot of people through already?
Yes, we have. Our guest book shows we've had a little over 1,000 people through here, and we do expect between 5,000 and 10,000 before we close.
Mm-hmm. What do you think makes the mansion so attractive? I know the holiday decorations bring a lot of people out, but what else, in your opinion, do you think?
I believe it's just the nostalgia of the building. 1902 is when it began to be built, and I think that the people just like coming through the mansion, and when they step into it, they think they're stepping back 100 years, and that's the feeling you get when you come through the front door.
Mm-hmm. We've got a beautiful Christmas tree right beside you, Sylvia. Who donated this tree?
This tree was donated by the First Presbyterian Church here in Claremore. All these lovely decorations were done all by our crafters. All of our decorations are hand done, and they have provided some lovely things for us this year.
So all the proceeds from the ornaments and the decorations that are sold through the tour go back into the Belvidere?
Yes, they do. They go into the Belvidere for her restoration and upkeep.
Okay. So again, it's a big community involvement.
Yes, it is. We have a lot of community people who have donated many, many hours of time and labor.
Mm-hmm. How did you personally become involved?
I've always been a history buff, and when the Historical Society first purchased it, I had been real involved in Tulsa with Santa's house, and so we discussed having something. What would she do here to maintain her, to pay for herself? And I suggested a Christmas show, and I got the job.
So you
Not that I volunteered, but I did get the job to do it.
Well, it looks like you've done a wonderful job, Sylvia.
Thank you.
I think we're going to visit now with some crafters that are here in the other room.
Yes, they are. They're in the parlor.
Okay.
Jean, this is the parlor, and in our parlor room we have some real unique features. We have the original mantelpiece that is original to the mansion itself.
So that's about 90 years old then?
Yes, it is.
It's got some great detail work
Great
there.
detail work. It does need some repair work done to it, which we will start right after our Christmas show. We have the wonderful pocket doors over here on our left. And
what was the purpose of the parlor?
The pocket doors in the parlor, the ladies retreated to the parlor, the men retreated to the sitting room. The men smoked and voted, and the ladies did not have the vote back then, so they didn't need to be talking politics, so they retired to the parlor and visited.
Okay.
And then the pocket doors, they would shut the room off if they didn't want to be heard, or if they didn't want to heat or cool it. They would just simply shut the door off. We also have the original fretwork in the round turret tower. This was a wonderful room that they used for reading, sewing. It attracted a lot of light, and the mansion is very well lit with all of our towers.
And we've got another great Christmas tree over here.
Yes, we do. And this tree was bought for us by Kay's Apparel here in Claremore.
Okay, great. I think we're going to visit with our doll maker now.
Yes, we do. This is Pat Doyle. And
Hi,
she has created our Miss Belvidere doll.
Okay, this is Miss Belvidere right here in the green, isn't she? Where did you get the idea for a Miss Belvidere doll?
Well, the Miss Belvidere doll, I kind of modeled after our Miss Belvidere here, Sylvia.
Miss Belvidere, yeah, there is a similarity there. That's great. That's a nice compliment.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Her gown, I thought of the ballroom upstairs and decided to dress her in the ballroom dress, her ball gown. And her little mask here, I thought, well, possibly they may have had masquerade balls, so I gave her a little masquerade mask.
She's great. What goes into making a doll like this?
Well, into making a doll like this here, first we start out what we call liquid porcelain slip, and it is poured into a plaster mold. And when it sets up and it's released from the mold, it comes out as what we call greenware. And when it's in this dry state, then we go ahead and clean off all this little roughage that you see around here, and then it's ready for firing. It fires from anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, and it has to cool down anywhere from 16 to 20 hours. When it comes out, it's in what we call the bisque form. It is then sanded with a little sander like this because it's rather rough. And when we get to a smooth surface, then we can start painting with the China paints. And after it's all China painted, it goes back into the kiln again and is fired anywhere from 4 to 6 hours again, and then cools down again for another 8 hours. And when it comes out, then we have the finished doll, and we can begin to put the doll together.
Can you show us how you would paint this doll?
Surely.
How do you decide what colors to use?
Well, we have various colors, like this little doll here is going to have brown hair, so we've used the brown for his eyelashes and for his eyebrows, and then we'll use kind of a light red for his little lips here, and we just gently paint them, and after they're all painted, they're blotted, and then we do his cheeks, they're blushed, and then he'll be ready to go into the kiln again and be fired.
How long have you been making these kind of dolls?
I've been in ceramics for the last 19 years. I am a certified ceramics teacher, and I enjoy it very much.
What other dolls besides the Miss Belvidere?
I specialize usually in character dolls, old-fashioned Santa Clauses, clowns, Perrots, jesters, various dolls like that. I like the dolls with the character.
Well, she's got a wonderful expression on her face.
Well, thank you very much.
You've done a great job there with her.
Thank you.
And all of your dolls are for sale here at the tour.
Yes, they are. Miss Belvidere's for sale, and all of the dolls. I've also done some ornaments for our Christmas tree here, various types of ornaments. And
Are they all in ceramic as well?
They are.
Okay, great. Thanks for visiting with us.
Well, thank you.
I think over here we're going to be meeting with Sharon Overgaard. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
And you've done these Santas for the show.
Yes, I have.
Tell us, how did you get the idea to make a Santa?
Well, these Santas, I like the looks of the Victorian Christmas decorations and Santas. So I decided last Christmas to attempt to make one for myself, my daughter, and my daughter-in-law. Well, I had so much fun making those, I continued to make them and ended up with a house full of Santas. So I decided to try and sell some.
Boy, he's great. Tell us, how did you, this is a quilt, what he's wearing.
I go to flea markets and auctions and find old cutter quilts that nobody would really want to use, that I don't mind cutting up, and make their robes and the Christmas bags on some of them out of the old quilts.
What about his beard? Boy, that's great.
The beard is out of wool. The face is out of clay that is baked in the oven at home. I hand paint them, then put the beard on him. He does have a body. He does have wire in his arms, so he is posable.
How much time is involved in making a Santa like this?
I've never made just one start to finish. I would say probably maybe a day. I just kind of make several little bodies and several little heads and then assemble them all. That's the fun part when you start dressing them and accessorizing them. And I make them out of velvet. I also make a Southwest. He has a little cowboy hat on, little cow skull and little sticks and stones and things.
I love his walking stick there. That's great.
We also have one that's a golfer. My son is a pro golfer, and he wanted a golfing Santa, so he doesn't have one yet because I've sold all of them as I've made them. I am working on one for him now, so he will get his golfing Santa.
Why do you think people are interested in the old Victorian Santas?
I think that it's just like the interest in the Belvidere. It's nostalgia and a simpler time. People enjoy thinking back about
Reminiscence.
Going home for Christmas and all the gingerbread baking in the oven and just a simpler time.
Okay, great. Okay, Sylvia, what's next? I think we're going to head to the next room and visit with another crafter.
Yes, I believe we have someone else here.
Okay.
Jean, this is our sitting room. This was the gentleman's sitting room. The ladies were in the parlor, and this is the gentleman's sitting room. We have some real unique features in here. We have our glue chip windows. Those were used for light diffusion.
Why were the windows so big?
When this mansion was built, we didn't have electricity. They had gas-operated lights, so they built their mansions and homes with very large windows for lighting purposes.
And we can see from looking at that how big that window is.
Yes. Also, just above that window, you can see some original stencil work that we uncovered just a few months ago. And it is a roping pattern. And in between each roping pattern, there is a prism. We have taken a permanent pattern off of that, and it will be replaced.
Oh, that is really neat. How did you uncover that? Just
during our restoration, we were in here taking down boards and petitions that we knew were not original, and that happened to appear.
Okay, and I think we've got the mantle. Was this the original mantle?
No, this mantle is not original. It is on loan to us from the Antique Association. This mantle was stolen from us about a year and a half ago, shortly after we purchased the mansion. We have not recovered it yet, but we hope to maybe in the future.
Do you have trouble with vandalism here?
We haven't since we have actually come in and started doing a lot of restoration work. But before the restoration work began, yes, we did have some trouble. But since then, we have not had a lot of trouble.
Okay. And what kind of Christmas goodies do we have here?
Well, on this side of the sitting room, we have some wonderful jewelry that some of our crafters have brought in. And here we have a couple of little snowmen. This is done by Cindy Rogers. She is here, by the way, and I believe we'll see her upstairs in just a few minutes.
Okay. And another great Christmas tree here.
Yes, we do. And this Christmas tree is on loan from one of our members, Candace Hancock.
How many people are members of the Historical Society?
We have a little over 300 members. They are not all active. Many of them are out of state, but we do have a little over 300 members.
Again, lots of community involvement.
Lots of community involvement.
Okay.
It's amazing how much that we do have. We're real pleased with that.
Okay, let's take a look over here. I think we've got a special smell.
Yes.
It's something we can't really show our viewers,
yes.
But the smells are just wonderful at this time of year.
This room was Mr. Bayless's study, and this is our small knick-knack room. And there's a wonderful smell. The aroma you're smelling now is called Christmas Wish. We also have Christmas Eve.
And it's coming from that little candle.
Yes, it is. We do have this available here.
Okay, we got a great quilt over here, Sylvia.
Yes, this quilt was donated to us by the Rogers County Bank employees. It is an Amish pattern, and it is called Broken Dishes. And they donated that to us to sell chances on it for her restoration of the Belvidere.
Okay, so for $1 a chance, anyone that comes through the mansion can have
Yes,
an
they can
opportunity
have an
to win that
opportunity
quilt.
to purchase that,
Okay, great.
to win that quilt. And we hope to have that drawing probably right after the first of the year.
Okay. And all these goodies here are all for sale,
Everything
huh?
in handmade. Everything you see has been handmade.
About how many crafters are involved, Sylvia, in this big of a tour?
We have between 75 and 100 here now. That's just crafters. That's not all the antiquers who have come in. It took us over 30 days to dress the mansion and furnish her with the antiques.
Okay, I think our next stop is going to be upstairs.
Yes, it is.
Okay, as we head upstairs, Sylvia, what are some of the unique features that we need to keep in mind?
As you start up the stairs, you can see this is the original carpet that we uncovered this summer.
Okay.
And it has the wonderful colors in it that you'll find in the downstairs of the mansion. The door up here at the top of the stairs is the servant's entrance, and it goes back down into the kitchen. And now you can hear the wonderful age sounds on our wood steps going up to the second floor.
Okay, I guess our first stop is in here, and what is this room?
We call this our bride's room, and we have one of our crafters in here, Cindy Rogers.
Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
What are you working on?
I'm working on a chambray teacher's blouse today. And I have matching button covers that go with it. And
Okay, what's
I'm just-
involved in doing something like this, Cindy? It looks really neat. Where do you get your ideas?
oh, I just keep a file of all of the things that I find around, or when I'm out. I don't know, I just get them from everywhere. I just kind of keep a file, and I'll go back through and put things together.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been doing these types
I've
of
been
things?
painting for about 5 years.
Okay,
So
great.
I've got a big file.
Okay, so usually trace everything and then paint it? Is
Yes, I trace it with a pen that dissolves with water. It's called a quilter's pen. And if it's a dark fabric, then I will use a piece of chalk. And then my paint I use is a real heavy-duty acrylic paint. And that gives real good coverage, and it won't wash out.
Okay, so this can be thrown in the wash?
Yes.
Okay.
You can wash it, but not put it in the dryer. And then I always outline my work with the dimensional paint, and that kind of gives it the details. And I keep my designs real basic and just kind of primitive in a lot of ways.
So this would be a great gift for a school teacher then?
Yes, the school teachers really enjoy dressing. The kids get a real kick out of it.
How do you do each of these button covers? Boy, you got a lot. We've got a school, crayons, pencils. How do you get the
These
detail?
are wooden button covers, and they're really very time consuming. Each color is a different step, and then I'll go back with a fine line paintbrush and put all the detail in. So it takes a real steady hand and a lot of patience, but it's a lot of fun to do.
And those just snap on over the
Yes,
button?
they do.
Okay.
They sure do.
So that's another great holiday
Yes.
gift idea. Are they very expensive?
They're not expensive, and the nice thing about them is you can add them to an existing blouse that you might have, so you're not having to invest in a whole outfit if that doesn't meet your budget.
I notice you're wearing an,
Yes, and I have one right here.
Okay.
So you can see the back of it. This is applique. It's fabric that has been put on the fabric with a heat set bonding agent called Heat Bond, and then I use the dimensional paint to outline it and seal the edges so it can wash as well.
That's great. And then we've got a kind of a patriotic Santa
Yes,
over
now
here.
he is painted with the acrylic paints again, and I have gone back after he is dried and put glitter all over him so he looks real sparkly. And I thought, this being an election year, he
Yeah, there you go.
might be a good one.
He's great. And then we've got some earrings.
Yes. This is the Victorian jewelry. I don't have very much to show right now, but it's the brass charms, and I assemble them together and then make a lot of pins and necklaces and earrings with those.
Did you do your wreath pin that you're
Yes.
wearing?
This is a dough called Sculpey, and it comes in all different colors. And I've done Christmas things, and I do some other things different times a year. The little squigglies are done with a garlic press, and everything else is pretty much just like playing with Play-Doh. I do it with my hands and just form it the way I want.
It looks like you have a good time as well.
It is fun, and my family gets involved with it sometimes too, which is fun. They give me ideas.
That's great. So Sylvia, this is the bride's room. I see we have a beautiful bridal gown over here. Tell us about that.
Yes, this gown is on loan to us from one of our members, and she was married just about a year ago. And she has loaned us the gown to put in our bride's room. This is a very small room that we're standing in, and we're not real sure what the purpose of this room was, so we decided to make it our bride's room.
Oh, it's beautiful. And is this the veil that she wore on the wall?
No, it's not. The veil that she wore is just above the bride's dress. The veil on the wall there is for sale, and it was done by a lady in Mounds, Oklahoma.
So we've got a lot of crafters that come from miles around.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of out-of-state crafters. I have a lot of crafters from Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Illinois. We have a lot of out-of-state people.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to head over here and visit with one of the antique dealers in town.
Yes, fine. Jean, there's somebody I'd like you to meet, and it's Wanda Wheaton.
Hi, Wanda. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Wanda is with our Antique Peddlers Mall here, and she's also representing the Claremore Antique Association. She has some lovely things she'd like to show you.
Okay, great.
Jean, we furnished the mansion with the antiques from the Antique Association here in Claremore. The pieces that we've used up here I'd like to show you is this wicker tea cart. It dates back to 1910, about the time that they were working on the Belvidere. And it's from one of our dealers at the Antique Peddlers Mall. On this end, we have chosen 3 pieces of wicker furniture. They also date back to the early 1900s. They are in their original green paint. Nothing has ever been done to it.
So those are pretty valuable, I assume.
Very nice pieces of furniture, very nice, yes.
And we've got our worker out here doing some restoration. Sylvia, how often are the workers here? Every day?
We have workers here every day, even through the weekends, and they are volunteers. No one here is paid, and they just keep working. Even though we are open for business, they are still working, trying to restore her.
So that shows what an incredible time investment it is.
Yes, it is.
And I understand the stained glass here was...
Yes, these stained glass windows have been replaced for us by Phyllis Gallo. They are from the original pattern. They were stolen about the time that our mantelpiece downstairs was taken. We had 3 sets of stained glass windows. This is the first ones to go back.
And I guess our next stop is in here to look at some antiques. Wanda, you're going to tell us about in this bedroom.
Yes, Jean, the furniture that we chose in here, we tried to pick according to the size of this room. We have a very, very high ceilings as we do throughout the mansion. The bed is an oak carved bed, dates back to early 1900s, and it's from Vintage Antiques here in town. She also provided the mansion with a beveled glass mirrored dresser that matches this bed. You'll notice the carving again at the top of it.
And how old are these pieces?
I would date these about 1910 to 1925, something in that area.
So they're perfect for the mansion?
Yes, exactly. They were what we would have hoped would have been here whenever they built the mansion.
Okay. And we've got an interesting piece over here.
This piece is from Frontier General Store, Antique General Store, and it is a oak bachelor's chest. This is the door that you're opening is a hat box that's built in it, and it's also is about a 1910, 1925 piece.
So for antique buffs, they could come down and really get their fill here.
Everything in here is provided by the Antique Association. All of it is priced and all of it is for sale.
Why do you think people continue to be interested in antiques?
Well, the value of them for one thing. And of course, they're beautiful to look at, and they're all affordable.
Great investment,
Great
too.
investments, very great investments.
What do you anticipate from the Christmas tour as far as the impact economically on your business?
Oh, it's been wonderful, both this year and last year when the Belvidere's opened. So we see a great inflow of traffic coming in here from all states. not just Oklahoma. And it's been wonderful for our business.
And I understand that the antique dealers in Claremore are really trying to promote tourism, get people to come in.
Yes, definitely. We hope to be the biggest tourism as far as antiques are concerned that we can see in Oklahoma.
We've got one more room here to take a look at, and this is a newborn nursery. Tell us about the pieces in here, Wanda.
Yes, Jean, in here we have used 3 pieces I would like to tell you about. The wicker stroller dates back to 1910. It was made by the Whitney Company in Massachusetts.
And where is this in the store in Claremore now?
It's in the Antique Peddlers Mall after it leaves the Belvidere when we close in December.
Okay, boy, that's a great piece. And then what about this
This
cradle?
is a little wrought iron baby bed that is also from the Antique Peddlers Mall, and it's a neat piece. The side drops down on it, and you can make a little settee out of it after the baby grows up.
And is this a hand, this
We
looks
have a
like it's
hand-paid
crocheted.
crocheted bedspread on it.
Okay.
And on this side, we've got a little 3-piece oak ice cream set that's quite unique. It's also from the Antique Peddlers Mall.
Do you think this was a nursery originally in the mansion?
No, I think Jean said it, Sylvia said it was a bathroom.
Okay. You've done a great job. It really looks authentic in there.
Thank you.
Then we have one more piece right here we want to talk about.
This is a wash stand, pitcher and bowl, and a wrought iron stand for it that's also from the Antique Peddlers Mall, probably something that they originally used in the Belvidere.
We can see, Sylvia, that you've done a great job of getting all
Thank
these
you.
antiques to really match both the time that the mansion was.
Thank you, Jean. The Antique Association's worked very hard in that respect.
Well, I'd like to thank you too, Sylvia, for showing us around the mansion. We can really see its personality and character as we go from room to room.
Thank you, Jean. There is one more person I would like for you to meet before you leave, and that is Peggy Feast, and she is our projects chairperson for the Historical Society.
Okay, let's go visit with
All
her.
right.
Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Jean.
Boy, we've really enjoyed the tour of the mansion today. You've done a great job restoring it. Tell us a little bit about what are the plans for the future?
Well, we plan to keep continuing our restoration project and hopefully to use the Belvidere in art and humanities capacity with traveling exhibits and receptions and weddings and things like that for people to enjoy.
So once it's restored, the mansion will be used and everyone in Northeast Oklahoma could enjoy the benefits of the restoration.
They sure could. They could come here and enjoy all kinds of parties and different things.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the times and the dates that the tour is going to run.
Okay, we'll be open now from Mondays through Saturdays, 10 to 6, and on Sundays, 1 to 6.
Okay, and the admission is free?
The admission is free. You can come as many times as you'd like.
Okay, I noticed too you've got so many things to see. Sometimes it might take more than one visit to the mansion.
Yes, we have different crafters coming in all the time with new things.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to fill us in on as far as the role that the Historical Society, if somebody was going to make a contribution or a donation, how would they do that?
They could contact us here at the Belvidere or just contact the Rogers County Historical Society.
Okay, I understand you have a Save the Belvidere brick donation program right now?
Yes, we sure do. You can have a brick, or be the owner of a brick in the Belvidere for $10. Makes a great Christmas gift.
Okay, great. So if you are looking for a great way to spend an afternoon, come to Claremore and visit the historic Belvidere Mansion. We'll see you on the next In Touch. Have a great week, and all of us at RSC TV wish you happy holidays.